I take this opportunity to welcome you, our viewer, wherever you're watching us from. This is PrayerCave TV. My name is Ken Campbell, and I want to welcome you to this amazing show that we are about to start. I know you've been waiting for this show. It's being one show where we talk about marriages and matters to do with families. And today we are so much excited to bring to you one wonderful topic, that is effective parenting. What are those questions that you've been having concerning parenting? Or rather, how have you been doing parenting? Today, we want to demystify all that concerning parenting. And with me is none other, not even a guest. She has been here in this show before. Her name is Madam Mary Ngige. She will be talking to us and taking us through this topic on effective parenting. And I'm telling you for sure, you're going to love it. So, young parents, they that already have advanced in parenting, this is your show today. So karibu sana, and please talk to us on the number on your screen. They that are watching us on Facebook or even YouTube, talk to us. Tell us more on parenting. What are those challenges? What are you going through? Is it becoming hard? How easy can it be? Share those testimonies concerning parenting, and it will be amazing for us. Without further ado, please help me welcome Madam Mary Ngige. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. You're most welcome.
Thank you so much.
Good to have you.
Yes. I'm also glad today to be part of this session.
Wonderful.
It's a session that we are all looking up to. So I'm so grateful, more so to God and PrayerCave TV family for allowing this chance to come so that we can discuss about effective parenting. So I'm so glad.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
How have you been?
I've been well.
Yes.
And I thank God the process of working, life is all balancing, and we thank God.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the boys?
The boys are also doing great. They are amazing.
Yes.
And it's one area I'll also be touching when you're talking about parenting.
Great.
As much as that is concerned.
Wow.
But generally they are fine.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We say hi to boys wherever they are watching us. I know they'll be watching. Are they allowed to watch this?
Yes. They do follow. Wow. His Mark and Alvin, I know they are there watching us. Yeah.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
And so we dive into the topic.
Yes.
It's all about parenting.
Yeah.
So what is parenting and what is not parenting?
All right. First of all, as we talk about parenting, I want to congratulate all those who are parents.
Yes.
If you have a child there, regardless of the age, I want to congratulate you so much because parenting is already an achievement.
Wow.
And if you're looking up to the things you have achieved, that is one of the things I can say you have achieved. The fact that you're there with the child, taking care of them. Congratulations.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I feel good. Yes.
So parenting is the aspect of now going in a process. It's an ongoing process that keeps evolving.
Okay.
There's no one time that you'll say you have parented enough, you have taken care of the child enough. It is an evolving event. It is a process.
Yes.
And we'll need to understand the process so that we can be able to keep on walking with it. It's also a lifelong journey.
Yes.
It's not a short period of time. It is a lifelong journey that involves a parent to be patient, a parent to give love, and a parent to be generally dedicated to a child, and also trusting in God in the parentinghood.
Wow.
I also see parenting as a practice.
Okay.
The aspect of actions, and these are much more apply on the application of knowledge and the skills and the values that you have as a parent to a child. So it's the aspect of practicing it. It has to be as something that is being done into actions. And it is also generally about nurturing a child. And nurturing is quite also broad because kids has to be taken good care of, and that is the aspect of being nurtured. And they can be nurtured either physically, where you're taking the child into the aspect of the physical well-being. They are taking rest, balance, food. If it is about emotional, support that you're giving to the child as part of nurturing
Yes.
is where you're allowing the child to express their emotions, you're able to monitor their emotions, and also help them when they're emotionally drained.
Okay.
It also involves social development. Our children are growing in a social setup,
Yes.
and we are all social beings. So we are also nurturing our kids in the aspect of being social.
Okay.
The aspect of intellectual development is also part of nurturing the child, because like we are putting them into school,
Yes.
so that they can be able to be helped to develop academically. And it is also moral guidance,
Yes.
where you're able to instill good morals and values to the kids,
Yes.
and also teaching the ethics, what is doing right from doing wrong.
Yes.
So raising a child has got all those aspects, emotional, physical, intellectual.
Yes.
And when you do that, you'll be giving the child the nurture they deserve.
Wow.
So that is what parenting is
yes.
in a short way. Yeah.
It's more of here nurturing, more of teaching. It's more of a parent being involved in bringing this child.
Yes.
In the best way possible.
Yeah.
And so what is not
parenting? Okay, so when we look at what is parenting, let us see what parenting is not.
Yes.
Sometimes we find ourselves doing it thinking it's the right way to do. One, I can say parenting is not being overprotective to the child. I know our nature as parents is to protect a child,
yes.
but parenting is not being overprotective.
Yes.
We usually say when things are done extreme, it also bring another undesired behavior.
Yes.
So we are not expected to go extreme even in the parenting. Don't be so much and overprotective to the child.
Yes.
Parenting is also not being a best friend.
Okay.
Being a best friend, yeah. Your role as a parent and my role as a parent is to be able to guide the child and also be a mentor. Okay. It's much more of guiding a child and mentoring a child. It's not just being a friend. Okay. That's why I'm distinguishing between the two.
Yes.
And it is also not being about perfect. There's no parent who is perfect.
Yes.
We are all trying. We all try to do it rightly, and there's no parent who is perfect in parenting. Yes. So it's not about being perfect.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. And parenting is also not living through your child. When I talk about living through your child, is where you want the child to do what you never did.
Okay.
You know, sometimes as we parent kids, we want them to be what that you are never.
Yes.
Probably from where we are coming from.
Yes, yes.
That is not parenting. Why? Because these kids and the children are just naturally unique. They are not us. We have, yes, given birth to them, but they are unique in their own way. So let us not force them in our parenting to be what and who we were never. And that is a mistake sometimes we do. It is not also just providing material things. It goes beyond that. Like I said, the social, emotional, spiritual aspects and intellectual, all of that is about also parenting. So it is not just about the basic needs. It goes beyond that. So we can check where we are losing it so that we can come back to the track.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I hear one point that is very, very important, maybe to expound more on the area of, you know, we want them to become what we never became.
Yes.
You know, we want them to go to school and become the lawyers we wanted to become.
Exactly.
The doctors we wanted to become.
Yes.
How bad and how, you know, does that one impact those children?
There's something we usually say that we need to work our past. I know sometimes when we are parenting our children, there is a version of also where we are coming from. Maybe your parents were like this. We'll be talking about the types of parents where you realize one was so authoritative, authoritarian. And because of that, you find yourself now when you have your kids, you tend to go the same direction. So, and sometimes our parents who brought us, this is what they wanted out of us. And because it never happened, you're like looking for that from your kid. And that is where sometimes we lose it, and especially when we are making a child to become. We want them to be, as you're saying, for example, maybe career-wise, to do what we never were able to attain. And you'll be losing your kids. And some of the things we'll be talking is looking at your child's ability and their potential and capacity to be able to become who they need to be. So let us not live through our kids. Let us not force them to be what we were never. So, and those are the things I say, the unfinished business. We need to deal with our past so that we don't impose it to the kids. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Very important, and especially for young parents who are, it's their first child, and
Yes.
they're like, you must become the doctor I never became.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or also being over expectant. Your expectations are so high, so that now you find yourself stretching up the child. And maybe that is you, that is not the child,
True.
you know. Yeah,
That's
so know the difference.
That is true.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, thank you. So the 3 school for your child, what are those kind of, you know?
Yeah, it is good to look at some of the areas where kids are more exposed, because we're talking about parenting from even the minor age as we proceed on, because kids depends on how they grow in their level of development.
Okay.
So I would want to go from the minor age.
Right.
And the 3 schools I want to talk about, one is at home. The first school for your child is at home. What you teach a child from home.
Yes.
Things like the family values. You know, like the values we have as we are now adults were the values that were in place in us and the morals from our parents.
Yeah.
So the first school, even as we were growing, is at home. So values has to be in place to the child, and they also the life skills on how to cope and deal with things, issues like emotional support.
Yes.
When a child is emotionally drained, you don't expect them to be helped at school. At home is the first place the child needs to get the help and also be taught on how to express their emotions. Aspects like discipline and the structure of the family at home.
Yes.
Discipline at home even before at school.
True.
And then the lessons they need to be taught and also the instructions they need to be given. So as we are ushering our kids to the world, to school, external experiences, let's know that the first school for a child is at home. What are you doing at home that you can say you're instilling for this child even as you usher them out? That's the first school. Yeah. And we need to see what we are teaching and what we are placing in their lives.
True.
The second school is the Sunday school. Sunday school is the second one, where now the kids are able to be taught how to have faith and the spiritual matters. They're able to be helped also to grow in character-wise and also be taught about the values and the morals they need to have in a spiritual angle. So those of us who are bringing up kids and they don't have them placed at Sunday school, there's some things they will be losing. And some of the things we were taught when we were young are what have versioned in our lives as we are adult. So that is the second school, and even monitor what is happening there. How is the child growing in that aspect, so that as they become, there's something you'll be building in them. And the third school now is the academic school, the normal school, where we are taking them to school for academic, and they are able to be taught a lot here. There is academic kind of the lessons they learn through that. They're also able to interact socially with their peers at school. They're also able to get into the extracurricular activities, things like art, drama. You remember those things we used to do at school? And they were quite interesting because like the CBC currently, they're able to nurture kids in the way they can be able to pick up their strength and interest and build them to become the people who we would want them to be. So at school is another area where it has a great impact to a child. And you can imagine if you don't take our kids to school, they'll be missing some values intellectually and awareness about themselves. So those are the common schools I see are very key at home, Sunday school, and also at the normal school that we take to kids.
I see a challenge in our today's generation or today's time, whereby parents are so busy that the first school, which is at home, they have left it to the nannies. The second one, they have left it to the Sunday school teachers. And the third school, they have left it to the teachers. The dangers of that.
And one of the things we forget is that is part of parenting. How are you parenting your child from home, at Sunday school, and even in school? Do you get time? The challenge here is, do you get time to liaise When last did you talk to the Sunday school teacher? When last did you visit the teacher at school to know how they are doing academically? We only wait for that final time when they are closing school. But you need to do a regular monitoring, because that is also part of parenting. What is happening to your child? What are some of the things they are experiencing? And sometimes when you draw close to know, you'll be picking some aspects that needs to be worked upon. But it's kind of, we generally think our kids are safe, are okay in such an environment where we are not getting involved. And that is the challenge to us as parents. Let us get involved so that we can walk a journey with those teachers and even us as parents when the child is growing.
That is true. That's a good advice. And thank you. And speaking of challenges, what are generally the challenges that parents are, are going or even facing in today's time?
As we talk about the challenges, I thought of mentioning about the roles. We know our roles as parents, specific roles that we play. Number one role is being a role model. Being a role model as a parent, you're the one teaching the child. So you're a role model. So whatever you do, whatever you say, kids are very good at imitating what you're doing. And what we place in them, in how we conduct ourselves, we make them become.
That's true.
So your role number one is to become a good role model to the child. What is it that you're placing in their life as who you are? Because we don't expect them to be this and we are this. So we have to be what we have to become what you want to see in them. So role modeling is key for us as parenting is concerned, and also the aspect of being a trainer. Wewe ni mwalimu number one. Before you even think of taking your child to school, you're the first teacher. What do you teach your child? And again, that is holistically. The other thing is being a mentor. We have to mentor them. A mentor is someone who is more experienced, who is more exposed. So with what you have gone through, the experiences and the knowledge you have, you mentor your child. So that you can be able to follow them and instill them values and morals that they need to have. As you watch them become, as you walk a journey with them, become the mentor. And even you, as a parent, you need to have a mentor as well. Because we are not perfect like we started. We also need help from those people who are also superior to us. We are also protectors. That is another role of a parent. Generally, we are here to protect. But we said parenting is not overprotecting. We are generally protecting the kids from the safety perspective, from being exposed, the environment that can be conducive to them. And we are generally to give them safety. That is our role. So for the parents who just expose their kids, I'm sure you've experienced and you have seen such of the things that people go through, where a child is being exposed and they are not safe. Another way of being a role model to a child or knowing our roles is being a provider. Being a provider, and we are the one to provide all that the kids need, all the basic needs that they require. So those are the major roles I see. Being a role model, a trainer, a mentor, a protector, and a provider. So let us not fail on those roles. And we weigh where we are at in that.
We should do it now as we go on with the show. Someone should find themselves. Where are they in those roles?
So that if you're not up there, you need to do something about that. As much as we are saying we are not perfect, this is what we still need to check with our kids as we parent them.
That is true. That is true. Wow. Now we get into the challenges. Having known the roles, now we can
the challenges.
See the challenges.
And I think that is now the basis of this talk on effective parenting, because I know parents, we are going through challenges when we are bringing up these kids. And like I said, it doesn't matter the age the child is at, whatever age comes with its challenges. But the general challenge that parents experience in their parenting is one, balancing work and family. Or people in a marriage or in that relationship, balancing work, the marriage, and the kids. That is one of the biggest tasks and a challenge for us, where you find now one is getting to one side than the other. So we need to come back and try to strike a balance, that we are able to parent our kids, nurture them. We are able to cater and care for this marriage that still has to thrive. And we also have to work because we need to work for the financial stability. So that has been the challenge. Where you see sometimes unasahau watoto sana in the process of work or marriage. So we need to know that all those are important. That is one of the challenges I see. The other challenge I see in the parenting world is the aspect of technology. Now where we are. How are you able to regulate your kids, especially when it comes to technology? Ama yeye ni ule wa kushinda kwa screen. Do you master the screen time, the use, watching? And the other thing I also check is the content. What are they watching? What are they listening? When they are on those headphones and earphones, what are they listening? What kind of music? You know, whatever age the child is at. So the challenge with the parents is regulating that. And it is one thing you need to sit down with your child to discuss, monitor the time, and let them know that there is the dangers and advantages, you know, to weigh between the two. And that is where most of the kids are getting destroyed. They're having uncertain behaviors that are not desirable. And we need to help them unlearn such behavior. So let us be close to them in terms of technology, as much as it is a challenge in the parenting. The other one I see is time management. There's a challenge of time management when it comes to parenting. How are we managing our time? And maybe are we overdoing it? Where are we in terms of parenting? We need to manage our time in a way, like I'm saying, balancing all the aspects that involves us. Because you're in a marriage, you have kids, you have work, church, so many aspects that involves us that are very crucial. But do we have an aspect of managing our time? So that when you give time for this, you're also giving time for this. You don't find that you're giving much time to this and you're giving less time to this. So time management is a great factor as parenting is concerned. Check your timings in terms of all that. Another challenge is a financial constraints. Parenting is expensive. They are expensive. I have seen parents struggle financially, and especially in the era we are at currently. And you find one of the major challenge in that marriage is matters pertaining parenting. For the fact of, but we need what is called financial management. If we need to regulate and adjust, we do as much as parenting is concerned. The other thing I see as a challenge in parenting is emotional exhaustion. It is emotionally draining. Parenting is emotionally draining. And that's why I usually say, when you feel that you're so much drained, it's a challenge. There's some issues you're going through. You can always seek for help so that you can be able to be helped to navigate through. Like I also said, have a mentor, someone who can help you and monitor you in the parenting. Because we are not perfect. We have to keep learning. We have to keep working, adjusting. It's a lifelong process, but it is emotionally draining. And especially also depending with the age bracket, how many kids you have, that has to do with emotional baggage. We are also parenting, we have work, marriage, all that is involving our emotions. The other thing I see is also the external influence. Parenting is a challenge in terms of the external influences. How we get influenced by our friends, how we get influenced by our family, and even the social expectations in our parenting. But one thing I can say is that we need to be unique in our way of doing it. The way you do it is the best way. Unless if you're getting stuck that you can need help, be assured that the way you're doing is the best way to do it. So there are those external factors that come in and hinders our parenting and also the effectiveness in the parenting.
Thank you so much, Madam Mary. Indeed, when we get to understand those challenges, then we are able to know where we are, and we're also able to know how to go about it. And I know there are many who are watching us and are saying, hey, Mary mentioned something that I'm actually struggling with. And I know you have received an answer or even a way out of those challenges. And even as we continue talking about effective parenting, Madam Mary, what are the kinds of parenting? You mentioned that there are kinds of parenting.
Yeah. And it is good to understand so that because these challenges we are talking about also comes with the type of a parent. And these types of parents, number one is a biological parent, where you're relating with your child by blood and genetically, that is. There's also another type of a parent who we call adoptive parent, where you have adopted a child. And you find also that has also challenges. When you adopt a child and you're a parent and parenting the child, there are those challenges that goes with that. Maybe like emotional connecting with the child, and maybe it can take time or even eventuality later having issues for that when things unfold. I also see another type of parent called foster parent. And for the foster parent, this one, they are the kind of parent who provides temporary care for the child. Probably like, for example, you spot someone, a child, maybe someone's child is not okay, and you decide that you can parent that child. Like, for example, my late husband, there's a child he was helping in terms of, becoming a parent, as even if he's not biological parent, but you extend your hand to help the child, or you also want to walk a journey with that child. That is a foster parent. And you also need to think of having such kind of parent, becoming such kind of parent, where you can parent a child or anyone you feel you need to give help as a child, even as they grow. There's also the step parents, and the step parent is where now these children are like blended, where one was in another relationship with kids and another one in another relationship with kids. So when we come into this marriage, it's a blended family. And so we are step parents to the kids. We all know that also has got its challenges that needs to be navigated through and also be helped. Because as much as you're saying we want to have a good parenting styles and become effective in parenting, the differences in parenting also comes with their own challenges. And then the other one I see is the single parenting. That is actually basically where I am for now. Bringing up kids by yourself. You don't have someone who is helping you to raise a child. And sometimes this is particularly very heavy in terms of when you need to balance things. It's emotionally draining, issues and at time, you want to try to balance so that everything goes well. So I also see challenges that comes with the single parents. And maybe one time we may be talking and discussing in details about single parenting even in marriage. So those are the types of the parents I see, and they come with unique challenges that we need to address and be helped to deal with, because some of them will find yourself probably getting stuck if you're not aware of the how to go about it. And as I'm talking about the types of parenting, I thought it's good to mention about the styles of parenting, so that we can know which is your way of parenting, which is my own way of parenting, because we are very unique in that, and probably also from where we are coming from. So like there's what I call authoritative parenting. Maybe you could be that person who is very authoritative, and authoritative is good anyway, because this is where you're able to set good rules, and you're able to also help solve problems with your child. That actually for me is a healthy kind of parenting. When you're that parent who is authoritative, you're able to set clear goals that needs to be achieved with your child and solve problems with your child. Another one is called authoritarian. I don't know whether you are that, those who are watching us. Authoritarian is one who is the one who say and it is final. You're not even giving your child time to express themselves. You're so strict in your parenting. It is so much of parent driven, and sometimes it can hurt the kids. They felt like they are not being understood and heard. Wanajikaisha kivyao. So being authoritarian is also not healthy.
Like those are the commanders.
We have the commanders. Akisema mwisho. And some of our parents were like that. There was no room for negotiation. Akisema ataki majibizano. And somehow we could also be coming from there, because where we have come from, we become that, and then we tend to parent our kids the same way. And when they also grow in their generation, there will be, these things are multi-generational. So it will depend also how your parents were. If they were that authoritarian, akisema amesema, even yourself, you're likely to see that, or rather, change that totally.
Yes. True.
There's also other kind of parent I call permissive. Now the permissive ones, now this one is where a child is the one who is driven. The child is the one driving.
Yes.
Mtoto akisema amesema, na the parent doesn't want probably the conflict,
Yes.
kugongana na mtoto.
Yes.
So you find it's like the child who is driving,
Yes.
who is saying and who is not hearing what the parent is saying. So we shouldn't be that. It's not also healthy.
Yes.
So that we are able to guide and monitor our kids. But when it's the other way around, you're likely to lose your child in the parenting.
Yes.
And the last, because there are 4, is the neglective parent. I'm a neglect, I'm a abandon.
Yes.
I usually say this is a parent who is uninvolved. Hayuko involved in the picture, is an absent parent.
Yes.
So we should not be that type also, neglecting, where we are neglecting our part of being parenting to our kids.
Yes.
The healthy one is the first one, the one I talk about as being authoritative, where you're solving problems with your child,
Yes.
you're setting rules and agreeing upon them together. And even in a marriage, we're able to agree with our kids. Yeah, that is the healthy one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
It's good to know ourselves.
Yeah. It's important that you get to find out where am I as a parent at that point.
Yes.
But then you'll be able to do it right. And if you need to change, then change comes in at that point. But at that point, we get to our first break. God bless you so much for keeping it PrayerCave TV. We're going to take a very short break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. See you. So much, our viewer. God bless you so much for keeping it PrayerCave TV. I know you've not moved an inch, and I know in fact you have texted somebody and to tell them to tune in to this wonderful show. This is the one show, and we have an amazing topic that we have already done part 1 of it. This is about effective parenting, and questions maybe they may be lingering in your mind. Where am I in parenting? What am I doing as a parent, and how is it affecting my children? I know you're asking yourself so many questions, and now we want to talk about how to be successful in parenting. So karibu sana, and God bless you so much. Karibu sana, Madam Mary.
Yeah.
And thank you for also taking us through this topic. It is really important. Now, how does someone become a successful parent? How do we do this successfully?
How do we work a journey of becoming successful parents?
Yeah.
Whereby you're also enjoying what you're doing.
Yes, true.
You're able to see the fruits of what you do. And that is basically where we aim at. And it is one of the goals of even these people who are in their marriage as we bring up our kids. So one is to communicate effectively. Wherever there are issues, let's talk, let's solve issues, let's see the areas of concern. What have I spotted with the child? What is my concern, observations, and expectations with the child? We communicate effectively. We don't neglect, like you're leaving it for one person to go into that direction. We need to come together. We communicate, so we do it together. How to also be a successful parent is to support each other. We don't want to leave it out for just the other person to deal with the parenting. Let us all be playing part in this. Some of us, we were brought up by parents, like, for example, by themselves, where maybe you see the other parent is there, but not there. The one I was talking about as neglective parent. He's just there, but he's not playing his role. And that has got effects with the child. especially when a child notices that the parent is there but not playing their role, it affects the kids even in the adulthood. So we need to be there to support each other. I'm sure you have had this case of a woman who killed her kid and killed herself. I'm not saying that the other part was not playing in the parenting, but I could not think about that woman. Probably this is what she was going through with the kids, and she didn't have a chance to get to maybe talk to someone so that she could be able to overcome that challenge. And you see, when someone is stressed, they get to depression, and then they act. So by the time she's killing her kids and killing herself, she was already at depression. And probably there are some aspects she was going through in the parenting hood that were never addressed. So we don't want to get at that point where we are losing it. It's becoming too much for us to hold. We feel like we are giving up. I've had people tell me, I want to give up. I don't know what to do. Nimefika mwisho, you know. We want to discuss about what is happening with the parents so that we don't get to the issue of getting depressed with the children, because you said it's a lifelong journey. It's a process that we are not stopping in any time soon. We have to continue towards the end. The other one is consistency, especially in terms of discipline. We need to be consistent. And some of the parents, especially those whom we call the permissive parents, who just allow the child to control, will have a challenge when it comes to disciplining the kids. We need to be persistent. If you say this is wrong and this is right, you need to be persistent. And again, you communicate together so that when a child comes to me, he's also hearing the same thing that you're saying. Where the child doesn't feel like this one is saying this and this other one is saying this. We need to have a common communication and be consistent even when we discipline our kids and let them understand.
That's true.
Wow. The other thing I see is quality time. Time is always a factor. Time, if you want to be a successful parent, check on your time so that you're able to balance your time with your partner in the marriage, as well as also balance time with your kids. Know there's time for kids, there's time for working on the marriage, and even don't forget you as an individual in this. Because another challenge with us in the parenting, we forget this person. And you know, you need to be strong for these kids. So parenting is working on yourself as you bring up your kids. Don't forget yourself in the mix, and I have seen it happen, and I wouldn't want us to go that direction. You need to work on yourself, work within the marriage as you work towards parenting together. The other thing I see is an aspect of self-care. I have mentioned that. Remember yourself. In the schedule that is so tight, get time to refresh. You still need time. You still need to equip yourself. You still need to feel better so that you're enjoying this. Some of us are not enjoying the parenthood because we are not able to get time for ourselves. And this person needs to be refreshed. This person needs to learn, get time also to learn about these things like we are doing, so that you're refreshed and you're nourished in a way that when you have awareness, you're able to know that you're still on the right track.
That's true.
Otherwise, you do things so blindly, sometimes you're not able to tell whether you're on the right track. Yes. So we keep also learning to know. We keep having mentorships programs where we can be able to be mentored as we also continue to pray God to enable us. Because we need to pray because we need the grace. It needs the grace to also parent the kids. Yeah.
True.
And then rest. It's good to have time to rest. Kusikimbia, as much as we want to bring up these kids, let us not run. And that is one thing that was almost depressing me. When this man died, I was thinking now what is going to happen to my kids. And I was not resting. I used not even to sleep, because I had that feeling of things need to work. My kids need to be okay. Until one day God reminded me that I'm the one who has given you these kids. I'm the one who take care of them. I'm the one to provide for them. I can realize I'm just there to be a responsibility to them, but they have their own. So parents outside there, usibebe mtoto like, yes, it is good to be there, but they have their maker. God is there for them. He's able to make things work even when you're stuck. So tuachie Mungu his part, and also as we play our part. Because some of those things are the ones that gets us into depression. And again, be a team. In the parenting, tukue team. In a team, ni unity, and then you're able to grow together. to be successful parents.
Wow, wonderful points right there. You mentioned something to do with discipline. Maybe before you do the do's and don'ts of parenting, we ask ourselves how to do this discipline. The discipline in parenting. Sorry.
And especially when we are still in the institution of marriage, because I said having the kids, you're in marriage, even if you're not in marriage, probably you are, and even if you're a single parent, you're still bringing up these kids. Discipline has to cut across, regardless of what kind of a parent you are, whether you're a single parent, whether it's a foster parent, whether it's a biological parent. Discipline has to cut across. What I can emphasize on the disciplining, one, we need to look at the factor of age. And there is an age that you also need to communicate in terms of grounding. Like my 10-year-old boy, sometimes I don't have to beat him. I have to do grounding, where you withdraw what he loves as part of punishment. You know, like for him, he loves to go out to play. Sometimes I'll say, leo hakuna kutoka nje. So disciplining also depends with the age, and it is good to communicate it. Why also you're doing that? Communicate it, do it, be consistent, and if you're two in the marriage, also communicate the same. What I call in discipline, ikona unison, where we are saying it the same way, doing it the same way, so the child is able to know this is the way.
Wow. So disciplining, when it comes to disciplining, Madam Mary, who is the discipline? Supposed to do the discipline
between the two? Either of the parents is supposed, but I see most of the time it's like the ladies who do a lot of, I don't know, but sometimes it can also be the other way. We have to talk and communicate it and agree and see how we can do it. We will not have to do the beating, both of us. One can decide to do the grounding, talking, and even beating. And even if you beat, doesn't mean that you need to be a person who beats, you know. Sometimes you keep also changing, because kids are very wise. They master you. They'll know your method. You know, sometimes they'll be expecting you to beat them, but you sit with them and talk to them. So we need to be very wise on how we discipline our kids, because if we don't figure out about that, it is always a challenge in the parenting. And we may also lose it when you're thinking we are doing it right. And when you need help, kindly seek for help.
That's true. Also on that, allow me to emphasize on something with that question. So what happens when we don't do the disciplining because we don't do the discipline? What happens? What are we instilling in these kids?
One, it could be the types of the parents you are talking about. Maybe you're much more neglective. You're seeing things, but you're overlooking them. Or you could be that who is submissive, allowing things to happen the way they. Na hiyo sasa, hiyo tunasema kababa kama, you know. And that would be bringing an effect to the child, because when the Bible says you don't spare the rod, you know, you will spoil the child. So one of the responsibilities to instill discipline. And if you avoid it, then it's going to still come back. So it's good to know that you're supposed to do it regularly. And whenever you spot a mistake, don't overlook it.
Thank you for that. We really needed an emphasis on that. So that's to see kuchapa
kidogo. Too much.
So what are the do's and don'ts of parenting?
The do's and the don'ts, because that is where we are at as we are weighing ourselves. What do we need to do and what do we need not to do in the parenting? Allow me to start with the do's. Number one, be present. We need to be present. As much as we are busy, as much as we have a lot to do, we need to be present to our kids, because they need us, our time. And sometimes for the kids, it's so funny. They will not need your time to do something. They just want to see that you are available, you are there. Sometimes I decide, let us end the job. I want to give them time. And when I'm there in the house, they will not stay in the house. They are out there playing. Unaona anaenda cheza, anakuja, anaangalia mamako, anarudi, hivyo hivyo. They want you to be there, but you may not be so much involved to them. So let us be present, as much as sometimes it's tough. Have quality time with them whenever you can be able to. Another thing is to set boundaries. We are the ones to help set boundaries so that they don't cross, and we also don't cross them. because we need to take care of them. Encourage dependency. Let's allow kids to learn to do things by themselves.
Sure.
That's why you see a child has outgrown, and some of the small things they're supposed to do by themselves, they are not able to. We allow a child, sometimes allow your child in the kitchen, see what they can do. Sometimes allow them in the laundry, see how they can wash.
Yes.
Sometimes I say, let them do it. Then when they go away, come back, check. And even if you can be able to see some mistake, correct and return it. So they'll think they did it, but you came and corrected. If it is washing the dishes, let them do. Come after them when they are not seeing you. So we are able to build an aspect of being independent. They can be able to do things by themselves, spreading the bed, and those small things they need to be taught to. So that is another thing we need to do, to create and give a chance for a child to be independent. The other thing is to model kindness and respect. Let's teach our children to be respectful, to be kind to themselves and the people around them as they socialize with other people. Also to teach them about communicating openly. We need to also learn to do communication openly. We allow them to learn to express themselves, to reach out to us when they need to. So we also need, as parents, to do the same. We are at the do's. Then we also need to encourage the kids, and also have to show the unconditional love. Let our kids feel our love. Some of us never experienced love where we came from. Please, we need to deal with that we can be able to express it. There's not much that a child will need, and not just about the basics. They need to feel the warmth. They need to feel the love. They want to feel cared, given attention, so that they're able to feel they're in a conducive environment. And you see, for a kid, I usually say they just need a conducive environment. You don't need to do a lot. Give them a safe environment. Love, let them feel warm, cared for, attended to. And that one now is able to give them a feeling of feeling they're in a safe environment and with the best people. Let them not just admire other there because maybe you're not able to offer that. I'm not saying we copy each other, but make sure you offer that kind of a conducive environment for a child, because it's what you'll be doing to their lives even as they are growing. The don'ts. Ndio tujue kama tumepotea. Avoid being overprotective. If you're that parent who is overprotective, then that one you will never be able to bring up a child in the right way. Let's protect them, but not overdo it. Anything done to extreme is also not healthy. So we protect them, but we don't overdo it. Maybe where you are, you're not able to concentrate, to settle, because you're thinking about what is happening. Amekula, amechapwa, let us not be extreme in terms of protecting them, as much as we ensure they are okay. The other thing is, don't compare. When you're a parent and you're parenting your kids, don't compare. Your own way of doing it is the best, because we are also unique. The way you do it is also different from how I do it. And some of this is what we have discussed. Probably your style of parenting is authoritative, mine is authoritarian. So the uniqueness in the way we do means we need to be ourselves. So we shouldn't copy and compare ourselves, because that one can even affect our mind. Avoid harsh punishment. We talked about discipline. Don't go beyond. I have seen people who are parenting, like there's a lady, one time in the news I heard, she was very angry, and in a way of disciplining a child, she went and boiled water and came and poured to the child in form of punishment. When you realize you have overdone it, when it is too late. So we shouldn't discipline and punish our kids in a way we are making scratch, we are banning them, we are doing things, even killing in the process of disciplining. We need to work on ourselves. Sometimes because we have issues, then we find ourselves projecting them to our kids. We need to be very watchful on that. Then avoid overloading schedules. Let's monitor our kids to see too much that they can't be able to handle, and we regulate how they are able to do it. Sometimes I see parents who overload their kids in terms of even what we are saying, we engage them. But again, it should not be done where we are overwhelming the child. It's good to give them break and times to even reflect and unwind themselves. Also don't dismiss feelings. They are still human beings. children are human beings. They are only small versions of human beings.
Yes.
They have emotions, they have feelings, they have thoughts. To see dismiss, doesn't mean that they want to express themselves to us, but we are dismissing them. And that is now the problem that comes with the parenting. We never take time to listen. We never take time to pick what is happening behind the scene. And so a child is trying to come to you, they are not able to talk to you. There is a parent whom I observed another time when I was doing counseling, who discovered that maybe she was able to send a child to the shop at a teenage adolescent age. So she came and sneaked with the phone for the son and was going through what the son was doing with the phone, only to realize that the boy was writing a journal and explaining even how he's going to commit suicide, you know. And he was talking of how the parents don't listen to him. So you can imagine, by the time the child is suicidal, it's because you never were able to attend to them. So I was able to tell her that you need to come back, listen to your son, get to know what is happening, because they want to reach to us, but we are not available, or rather we are dismissive. Who do we expect they'll go to? Probably they go to the wrong person. So you need to have a big ear to your child so that you can listen, and sometimes a small mouth, you know, to talk less and listen more, so that you can be able to pick what the child is experiencing. And that is the challenge to some of the parents outside there. We pull up our ears to listen more than even sometimes talking more, because sometimes we do the other way around and we lose it. So those are the don'ts. So we need to know what to do and what not to do. But again, I'm saying when spark, always call out for help and support.
That is true. That is true. And to recap and to tell you, Madam Mary is a professional counselor, and you can reach out to her anytime and she will be able to assist you, even with such challenges in parenting. So we want to get to the end of today's episode, Madam May. It has been exciting, by the way, and an eye-opener for many parents. Maybe you can give them lazima tupeleke watu mbinguni kidogo, tuwapatie Bible verses, you know, because this is a long-term thing, commitment. It is not that you're today a parent and tomorrow no. It is a long-term commitment. Wacha tuwahubirie kidogo.
Okay. Parenting. One thing we need to know is that God entrusted us by giving us these kids. They are the fruit of our womb. And they beautify our marriage. So when we have these kids, it's a gift from God. And as much as we are saying the challenges are there, we need to encourage ourselves. Maybe I can give the Proverb 22:6. The Bible says, "Start children off the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it."
That is true.
So we have, as much as God has given us the responsibility, He's also reminding us that there is what we need to do. We teach them to go and do the right thing. And that they are going to learn will never depart from their life.
True.
So what are you doing that can make this person be in tomorrow? You can check Proverbs 22:6. You can also check Psalms 1:8. Psalms 1:8-9, it says, "Children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring a reward from Him. Like arrows in the hands of a warrior are children born in one's youth. Blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them."
That is true.
So as much as we are blessed with these kids, we need to know that they are heritage from the Lord. And they are offspring, and God has entrusted. There's a reason why God gave you that child. There's a reason why that child is in your household. There's a reason why you're holding that child with you. So we need to check and seek God more so that we can make them become what they need to be in their lives. Also, Psalms 127:3 says, "Behold, children are a heritage from the Lord, the first fruit of our womb. They are a reward." So they are reward in our lives, they are gift in our lives, and we need to tell God thank you about that. So let us always be thankful to God. He entrusted us to have these kids. There's a reason why you have that one and not the other one, and you need to be checking closely. Are you doing what you're supposed to do as a parent so that you can make the child be the person God wants him or her to be? remember also this child has got a purpose in life. We are not here and we are not born by accident, but we need to build them. Know what they love, their interests, their ability, so that you can be able to fashion that to make them become who God wants them to be. Remember we said, don't live through your child.
No.
They are unique. God has made them unique, and they are going also to be unique. And that's why we say even kids are not the same. The way your child is different from the other child, as much as they all belong to you. Due to the uniqueness, we treat them uniquely, we help them uniquely, we pray for them uniquely, so that you'll be happy to see them become what God wants.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mother Mary. God bless you so much for coming. This one I know. This one I know. And I have a feeling that it has changed me.
Yes.
And many will start doing it right. Many will start doing the right thing in parenting. Now you know where you are, our viewer. And I know you have really found yourself in one of the things that we have been discussing about. And I know that you're going to take some action towards making your parenting more effective, you know? And I'm telling you, there will be happiness and joy in that process. By the way, it is work that is doable with that kind of knowledge. There was a point you said that it is important that you also get to the knowledge about parenting. Find those, learn, get a mentor and all those things. And yes, we are sending you to finding a mentor and to getting more knowledge on parenting. That has been Being One Show. My name is Ken Campbell, and until next time, we wish you well. God bless you. Shalom, shalom, shalom.